What is going on, my beautiful community? I am your Sister Spade, and this is the Apprentice Chair, the official spin-off of the Mentors Table, which will be returning this February 2021. I'm super excited to be here with you today. Our episode is about voting. So if you haven't already, today is the very last day of early voting. I got to vote. You can't see my little sticker here. But it was a super fun experience, and I wanted to share that experience with you and also continue from our first episode, which I did before I got to leave. So today I'm going to be shedding some light as far as what I have found in my research, and I definitely encourage you to do your research before you go and vote. If this is your first time voting, if you've never voted at all, if you've never even thought about voting, this is the time definitely to get engaged, because you can at least get to see the experience. I know there's a lot of stigma that's around voting, and it being said that our vote doesn't count, that it doesn't make any difference or change in our communities as far as what we're voting on, and I want to say that that's completely false, because there's so many things that we can do for our local communities and our local voting. So yes, there's a different process for the presidential election, so we can definitely look at that. Did you know that we could possibly get that also on the ballot to change? But we gotta utilize this power to vote. So if you don't start doing it, then you never will, and we'll continue with the same pattern. So that's what this video is about. It isn't to sway you or to help you make your decision as far as on my opinion. I want you to make your decision based off of the information that you get from here, and then also your own research. So definitely take a look at the things that's going on in your community. This is for the Southern California region. Every single person in our country is going to be voting for different propositions on their ballot. So pay attention to that. Today is awesome in that I'm going to be kind of talking about not necessarily all of the propositions in our country, but the ones that kind of stuck out to me. Again, you can look on ballotpedia.org to get more information as far as that resource is concerned. They have a lot of cool information about all of the different propositions. They break it down, and they're really good at just being straightforward with the message. I really feel like sometimes I'm reading the King James Bible or Shakespeare, when I'm looking at this stuff, and I think that is probably one of the main reasons why I feel a lot of people don't vote. So this is an opportune time to get involved, make it something personal for you, and to figure out what it is that you can do to change the outcome of what's going on in our society right now. I know we're all going through a lot of tough times, so I really appreciate all of those people making an effort to make a change regardless of these factors. Episode 2, part 2 of 1. There's going to be another episode following this that will cover the debates. So we'll talk about the debates, but that isn't something that I personally wanted to talk about before the elections. It is something that I encourage you to look at before you go and vote. That way you kind of have an ideal of the personalities, but we should be looking at it way, 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 way before, the debates as far as the character of the people that we want in our offices and representing us. I really feel that this is something that we kind of lack in our country, is we're going after a lot of, entertainment. We look at it as an entertainment source when this is totally not. This, to me, voting, being able to have a voice in the opinion and also the rules of our country is super, super, super beyond being entertaining. It is something that we should have fun with, and it is something that we should be entertained with in time, but not something to be disrespectful of. So I've seen a lot of these type of comments. I've seen a lot of these type of interactions within our communities, and that's not something that I'm going for. So that's one of the reasons why I didn't talk about it. I didn't want you kind of sifting me out because of how I might feel or what I might say about a debate topic. But I do want you, like I said before, and will continue to say, I really want you to form your own opinion, conduct your own research, and please ask questions. Ask questions. And the people who are out here saying things of negative content or intent, y'all need to grow up. It's just so far beyond that. If you aren't trying to help the situation, if you aren't trying to educate someone on the situation, you're hindering it. So please, at this time, like I said, Go out, vote, use your voice, and use this power that we've all fought for in making a change in our communities. So, also in the next episode, I'm going to be going over how voting actually takes place and when, what we got to do in order to get something on the ballot, and then also some of the things that we need to do in order to get people in these new offices. So, pay attention to the things that are going on in society right now and to resources that you can look at so you can also figure out how it is that you can apply it to your life and what it is that you're trying to do. All right, so I promised that I was going to go over, I'm already laughing, geez, I'm crazy. I promised that we were going to go over some of the people that are on the voting ballot. So, like I said, every state is going to differ as far as the U.S. representative, the U.S. representative is one I want to see. See, I'm not even 100% sure on that. Please let me know. The state senator, member of the state, we have something called the Municipal Water District of Orange County. So, I know that's going to be different. I know everyone's not here, and of course they're not in Orange County. So that's another thing. If you haven't voted before, that's how it works. Like every single district, every single county has their own laws. They have their own rules and they have their own focuses that they're looking at. And that's something that kind of, just blew my mind. It was just so big to me. I was like, I didn't know, I don't understand. So it's really cool to actually be able to see it now that I'm getting older as to how it translates to real life. It's like when you're getting taxed or when you get these bills and you're like, what the heck? Where is this money going? This is supposed to help us delegate those powers and those authorities to make sure that our money and our resources and our time are going to the right people. That's all. All right, so president and vice president. Now, I just wanted to, talk about who is on the ballot here. This is a weird kind of toss-up area for our country. A lot of people do not, they don't agree with how this system is run as far as granting access to the presidency of our country. And I kind of agree too. It's kind of weird. I think I said it in the first episode that there's so many different offices. We have 6 people. We have 6 people running for president. And the 7th, you can actually put your own. I actually filled it out already. You can put your own, recommendation. I don't know how that works. So that's another thing we don't know. Is, how does this really work and why is it that there is another option, but those are never represented during the elections or during the campaigns? All you hear is Republican, all you hear is Democratic. So it's kind of interesting how it's done. But 6 candidates, we have Howie Hawkins, Angela Nicole Walker, Joe Jorgensen, and Jeremy Spike Cohen. You got Biden and Kamala Harris. You have Donald Trump and Mike Pence. You have Gloria Riva and Sunil Freeman. And then we have Rocky De La Fuente and Kanye West. So I just kind of wanted to talk about that real quick. I know a lot of people were just outraged or just found it humorous. A lot of people are claiming that they rather vote for Kanye just because there's a lot of rumors going on. It's a swing type of thing, that it's a distraction. But I guess what I want to focus on is the truth of it's here. It's on the ballot. In my, perception, I don't take it personally as far as to why he did it or what the purpose is for their benefit. I guess in my mind, it just shows me it can be done. And if anything, from the presidency of Donald Trump and both Kanye being on this ballot, it means that people that are different can open up the doors and become the president. They can become, the people that they want to be. So, we learned that also with Obama, and a lot of people are kind of weirded out. It's like, why are you always talking about Obama being the first or this? He was the first. He was the first out of so many presidents, and that doesn't make any sense that we're still in these areas of breaking down. Oh, well, now we have our first, full-on entrepreneur and entertainer, and now we have our first full-on stage performer. It's just the diversity of the people who, who we had as options have never been, diverse. So, if anything I can take away from this, yes, it's funny, but there is a diversity that is being shown here, and I guess I can appreciate that. But nonetheless, I wish and I pray that our country starts taking more serious this opportunity and takes it more serious, the things that are on here. It isn't something to laugh at, and the fact that countries, they're looking down on us because we're conducting ourselves like children. And it's true. It's really true. If you did, catch the presidential debates, the vice president one of the questions was from a little girl who was specifying that, how are we supposed to conduct ourselves, as citizens, as kids, and you yourselves cannot conduct yourselves as people who are global citizens, who are, being looked up to and expected to take care of our country. If we're going to continue to act like animals, then that's what our country is going to be. So I guess this is me, thinking things through for myself, and then also sharing my thoughts with the people who I have on my platform, whether it be 0 to 1,000,000. I really feel that I have hope, and I want to exhibit hope for people to start communicating as adults and taking responsibility for our country and taking it seriously. So, when you see people who want to run for the president, when they're in high school or in middle school, help them. Help them figure out what they need to do in order for them to have the career set. Don't discriminate against someone who you don't think is popular, doesn't fit the perception or the persona of this box. That's ridiculous. Our country was founded on entrepreneurship and innovation. So that means that is a continuous spirit that's going to be here in our country. So continue with that. Don't deprive people of the right that they have to grow and become something in the society. So, again, Vice President, President, I hope you guys did your research as far as to what it is that you like, as far as the characteristics of the two candidates that, unfortunately it boils down to. But everyone, like I said, they have their own expression as to how our presidency for this 4 years have been, and their pros and cons. We've had so many different experiences with so many different presidents, and I like to look at what it is that person has done within that time period, what changes, what benefits, what negativities. So whatever you're doing to conduct your research, congratulations on that. All right, and then the other one is the U.S. representative. It says for here, 47 districts. So for me personally, I think that might be for SoCal. So yeah, it is. Yeah. So, I don't know who your U.S. representative is, so please do your research as to who you're going to vote for. Out here in Southern California, I've been seeing propositions everywhere. So, I do like the fact that people have their own opinions and that they can challenge their thoughts as to why or what they want to do with this. So, for our U.S. representative, there's Alan Lowenthal and John Briscoe. I don't know too much about either one of them, but I do know that I voted. I'm going to leave it there. But I did look up both of them. What it is I looked at for this particular point, because I'm such a brand new voter, I looked at their education base, what they're in charge of as far as their office, and how much experience they have in that office, and I made my choice on that. So, I don't like to make choices based on popularity, but by all means, make sure that you have a purpose in who you choose. State Senator, 29th District, we have Josh Newman and Ling Ling Chan. So this has been an ongoing craze in Orange County, California. I've heard so many crazy commercials, and I've gotten so many crazy advertisements about how Ling Ling is not a good person, how Josh is not a good person, and it's just kind of crazy to see how the whole campaigning thing works. But I do have a question about this part. The fact that there was someone, including for the presidency as well, but Josh Newman, I guess, apparently was recalled from his position, and Ling Ling came in to replace him. So I guess my ideal is that there should be another person in that spot in order for her to have a different component to run towards. I mean, against. I don't understand. I don't understand. And even with the the impeachment of our president, or like the almost impeachment of our president, those are the things that does. It kind of discourages me when I look at the infrastructure that they've created. Is like, it's kind of condescending sometimes. We really do need to take responsibility and put in responsible people up here. So, if you have a recall or if you've been taken off, why are you still on the ballot? I don't know. Anyway, member of the State Assembly 65th District. That is also here, Southern California. We got Cynthia Thacker, Sharon Kirk Silva. Don't know anything about these ladies. All I say is that, like I said, do your research. I looked it up. I looked at who they were as people, their educational background, what they've done so far, how long they've been in the offices they have been. And, just kind of felt my way around there. The Municipal Water District of Orange County. Another one that was kind of like, what the heck? I guess this is the one that kind of opened up my eyes to see that there are people who are in charge of a lot of these offices that are not equipped to even do the jobs. They don't even study to do them. So it is always kind of like mind-racking. Like, if you've only been a nurse in all of your life and then all of a sudden you're this. I think that's the whole big uproar about Trump even being in office, is the fact that he was an entertainer. Yes, he's a businessman. Yes, he's an entrepreneur. But what does he know about politics? What does he know about our country's policies? What does he know about representing our country? Those are the things that you would want. You don't go into surgery and say, oh, I hope you know what you're doing. No, you better know. You don't go to the dentist and say, well, I hope, you're okay with your hands and all that stuff. No. You don't want someone drilling in your mouth and they can't keep their hands steady. That's crazy. So it's just like the same type of mentality is not presented in the politics. So that is something that I feel a lot of people are disheartened on, and they don't want to get involved, because if you do have things like that representing you, then it kind of makes you feel, at a slight, like, I don't want to be involved in this, but it's messed up because this is our country. And when we go outside of our country, or when people come to our country, that's how they perceive us. That's what they know of us. And that's all they have had from us. They don't have any other, resource to look at in saying, oh, well, this is what Americans do, or this is what Americans think, or, unless you come here and actually meet people for yourself to see that we're completely different than how we're represented, you wouldn't know. So, yeah, I'm just weirded out by the people who are kind of running for this office. Sorry for that rant. But in general, that's just how I feel. It's just for a lot of the people. It's like, can we put some people who kind of know what they're doing in the offices, and then it'll work. But we have Kathy Pham, Water District, mind you. Kathy Pham, she's a registered nurse. Linda Patterson, she's a businesswoman and a mother. Congratulations to both of you women. I have no problem with that. But I'm just wondering, like, what do you know about water and the way it's supposed to be, utilized in our city, in our country, and in our county? But Robert R. McVigar is a water resource engineer. Tyler Deep is the last candidate, and he is a California State Assemblyman. So at least he has some political background. Yeah. So, yeah, I guess, like I said, this is the reason why we're looking at these ballots, so we can make changes. We have to figure out what it is we don't like about the system, what we don't like about these things, in order to make a change. So, I'm taking some mental notes. I'm taking some physical notes as to how I can, get involved, and hopefully you are too, because this is how we're going to make a change. But yeah, those are all of the people for the Orange County ballot. I'm pretty sure yours differs. Like I said, please be very cognizant when you're voting for these people. If you have a chance to vote someone in that is young, refreshing, really passionate about what it is that they're doing, then go for them. Help them out and get them to where they need to go. Like I have a really good friend slash sister who is in office right now, and I want to say she is the Missouri State Representative for her area, her district. Her name is Lakeisha Bosley, and she is on the ballot. So please go out there and vote for my girl, because she's been doing amazing, amazing, amazing work. And let me explain something. The thing is the difference between someone younger, someone who is in tune, someone who is actually part of the community, they can stand for the people better because they're living in those circumstances. And that's something that I was able to actually physically see when I was in St. Louis, Missouri. I'm from St. Louis. But when I was there, watching Lakeisha and watching the Bosleys, her family are in politics, and they've been making huge strides, and I've always looked up to them. So I want to thank you guys, and I'm calling just all the work that you all have been doing out, and I'm so excited that you're on the ballot, because the thing is like something you would do that someone else wouldn't do. The fact that you're out there every single day on a physicality. And she started a reform for us, for our hair, for African American women and men. This is part of us. This is part of our culture, and there's a lot of things that are in politics that have been designed to keep our people down. So if you don't get involved and to make these changes, it's never going to change. And I don't see the older generation doing it. I see the younger generation doing it because we're impacted by it. When we're going into school, we shouldn't have to be kicked out of class, or we shouldn't have to be, chastised because of our froze or because of our locks. It's ridiculous. Some of the things, I said it before, it's just like, to think that there is a mental of people thinking that people are less than or more than or this than or that then. No, man, that's not right. That's not cool. But yeah, I just want you guys to know that when you're looking at your ballot, do your research and find those people who are like my friend, who are like the people that you want to get to know, who are like the people like you trust, to not only represent you, but vocalize the things that you're trying or need for your community, your schools, your public transportation, your libraries. There's so many things that are run off of the guidelines that we vote on. So please, 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 please. It's awesome. It's awesome. All right, so now I got done with the people who are on the ballot. Ooh. Now I'm going to jump in, because this is pretty important for me to see the different mentalities of the states that are in our country, how far or how ahead they are in progress. And it's kind of sad that we're not together. We are called the United States of America. But looking at these propositions from different parts of our country shows me that we're not. We're not on the same page. And we need to start getting on the same page of humanity. Because if we destroy ourselves, then it's gone. What's the point of that? I don't get it. I don't get it. But, so there's a few of them that I wanted to talk about. I'm just going to go down the list. I hope it's intriguing to you and something that you guys find interesting, because I know that we can't necessarily vote on these topics, but we can support those people who are voting on those topics and spread the information that we know, so they can be aware of, hey, this is coming up. Today, like I said, it's 5:35 right now. 8 p.m., I want to say the polls close today. And then tomorrow they open again, I want to say at 7. So tomorrow is the official voting day, and today was the last day of early voting. So we have a little bit of time. So if you know something that can help another person that hasn't voted to get up and be motivated, here we go. Share it. Let them know. So we're looking first at Alabama. Jesus. Alabama, you guys got some weird stuff going on. There was something that was not passed as far as the Alabama Constitution to rename the state board Education as the Alabama Commission on Elementary and Secondary Education. So that's one thing that they're doing weird. They're trying to rename the State Board of Education into something completely different. Why? Alabama. Y'all be tripping. But it didn't pass, so thank God for that. These are the ones that are actually officially on the ballot to vote for. Amendment 1 is about everyone being able to vote at 18. I guess there's a change in the way that it's written that they're looking at, and there's a couple of different states who are also voting on this as well. So if you're going out there and you're looking at this, I'm really not sure what this means and how it changes. I've read it so many times, but until it physically happens, I guess I don't understand how this helps. Here in California, we're trying to get people to start voting at 17. So I don't think this affects the voting age. I think it just affects the people who are either citizens or non-citizens of our country or something like of that nature for age. 18 citizens. I don't know. I really don't understand this one. So if you know, please comment. Let me know what the heck is going on with this one. Amendment 2 removes Supreme Court's Chief of Justice to hire the Administrative Director of Courts and giving the authority to the Supreme Court as a whole. So I don't know what the Supreme Court is like out there, but that sounds kind of sketchy to me. Yeah, no? The more people who have the power in order to discuss it, in my general opinion, the better off we are. And especially in a state like Alabama. Amendment 4 supports authorizing the state legislature to recompile the Alabama Constitution during the 2022 regular state legislative season and provide for its ratification. So this isn't even happening immediately, right? So ratification, that's another, that's a term that maybe a lot of us don't know. I'm still not 100% sure as far as all what they mean with that, but meaning that it needs to be taken out, ratified. They're looking at 2022. So there's a lot of things in the Alabama Constitution. It's not cool. Very prejudiced. Very not cool. Very not cool. It's a Trump for you. But regardless of how people think, and that's another thing with this whole election and people declaring their loyalty to a certain point of mind, of being supreme or being better or being justified. If you're hurting people, that's not justified. If you're taking people's freedom, if you're stealing to get what you want, there's no honor in that, and it will come back to you. So just like when you're rooting for a baseball or a football or a basketball team, these people are not really paying your bills. You're the one who's keeping them. We're keeping our political system intact. We're keeping our country running because we continue to support the system, work in the system. What I'm saying is that don't let that define you. Don't let that define the way that you treat and interact with people, because you never know when things can change. And just because you have a view of you supporting somebody like Trump or like Biden, that does not define who you are as a person. They are their own people and they have their own agendas as to what they're trying to do. You can support somebody, but to be just deliberately belligerent and disrespectful to other people just because you feel that that's in loyalty to them, that's extremely childish. And that's something that I'm like, that's the easiest word that I can think of. But I'm kind of disgusted at how our civilians and our citizens have been acting during this time. It's really sick. And the kids, God bless the kids, they're taking it better than we are. So stop with that mess. We need to get this taken care of. Alabama, this is not right. These things should have never been here in the first place. But in 2022, and that's another problem, it isn't immediately. It's not ratified immediately. We're not taking a look at it. We still have to wait on 2022 so we can forget. And that's a problem with these things when you're looking at it. It's like, what is it stating? And who's going to make sure that these things are taken into consideration and really done? I don't know. But they're not looking at this until 2022. Amendment 5 supports amending the Alabama Constitution to state that individuals have the right to stand their ground and may use deadly force in self-defense of another person in churches within Franklin County and Lauderdale County. So this right here, I want to say, is because of the mass murder shootings that have been going on. Not every state, of course, as you know, has a stand your ground law. I don't know how I feel about that one. I'm from a state that had stand your ground, St. Louis or Missouri. I do feel safer because I've noticed that, you know, the police, they don't get there, you know, in time for certain things to happen. The fact that there's so many murders right now where there's no police protection, there's nobody even present, no presence, no security cameras, no nothing, but you have all these people who take it upon themselves to just take what they feel is power into their own hands. So, yeah, I guess I kind of agree with the stand your ground. I feel that everyone should, but also nonetheless be very responsible with that power of being able to protect yourself. But for establishments to start actually having security so they can do these things, and, you know, to give them that, you know, that privilege to do their job of protecting the people, because just a regular civilian shouldn't have to do that. We have people, we have jobs, and we have career points that are set for these things, and we're just not utilizing them. If we have people just coming into churches and shooting them up, nah. You know, especially with those organizations being non-profit, budget that in this year. You know, budget in security. Just because it is the house of the Lord doesn't mean you won't be targeted, and that's for everywhere. You know, people are in different mindsets all the time, so you never know what's gonna happen. Just being diligent and making sure that the people that come into a mass setting are taken care of and they're safe. So, yeah, the stand your ground, you know, anyway. All right, so we're going to move into Alaska. Alaska doesn't have too much going on over here, but it's some interesting stuff that I wanted to talk about. They have a ballot measure 1, excuse me, which specifies that it wants to increase taxes on certain oil production zones, specifically in the North Slope. So again, you know, a lot of people never think that it will, you know, impact them until they move. You know, you can move to a different state. You can, you know, take your family somewhere else, and that's a beautiful thing about being in our country. When you go there, it's a completely different experience, and you want that experience to be great. So Alaska, if I decide to move here and I want to get me an oil production company, I'm not trying to have increased taxes. I don't know about you. Ballot measure 2 changes the Alaska election policies, including the top 4 primary rate voting list, or first voting to do. Okay, so this one right here is kind of weirdly written, worded, whatever. But basically what they're trying to do is change the way, or the primary ways of voting for those people in Alaska's, I want to say their Congress. I'm not sure how that is, but that's another thing that I've seen that's repeated also on several different states. They're trying to change the amount of people that it takes to vote certain people into office. So I want to say that that's what this is about. Alaskans, if you know what ballot measure 2 is about, help us sister out. I don't, yeah. Arizona. So Arizona, they have Prop 207, which is awesome for me. But it legalizes the recreational possession and use of marijuana. So anybody who likes to treat their ailments with medicinal cannabis, or if you like to even be recreational with it for creative purposes or just health purposes, then this is for you. Arizona, Californians, we've been doing it. Coloradans, we've been out here. You see Bob, you see Bob. But yeah, man, like I don't, like I said, I'm not here to sway anybody's opinion about anything, but I am passionate about the things that help me, and I feel that everyone should be as well. If it's something that helps you, if it's something that you're passionate or adamant about, even if you're against it, go out and say something about it so it can be changed. But yeah. So Prop 208 is another one that's on Arizona's ballot, which increases the tax on income exceeding $250,000 for teachers' salaries and schools. So I don't understand that. Why are the teachers being taxed? I'm going to leave that alone. But nonetheless, yeah, there's so many different people out here like Walmart. I'm going to leave that there. They're just making so much money. These big old corporations that aren't giving back to their communities. Arkansas. I was actually about to say it for real like that. But Arkansas. I don't know how that's Arkansas, because it clearly says Arkansas. That's the first thing wrong with it right there. But their issue is number 2. This one right here changes term limits to 12 consecutive years for state legislatures with the opportunity to return after their 4-year break. So here they're trying to extend some of the people in their position. So I don't know if this is a good thing or a bad thing. Kind of depends on you guys in Arkansas. How are the people there? You know, if they're acting like, you know, it's a mess, then get rid of them. So this is it. Issue 3 changes the initiative process and legislative referral requirements. See, just too much. Just so much. Just makes my whole mouth dry saying all this stuff. But anyway, I don't know about this one either. Here's another one, Arkansas. I don't know how the people are out there. I've never been to Arkansas. I've only drove past Arkansas, but I know it's by, you know, the southern type territory regions. So I'm praying that everyone over there is acting nice and just to each other. But how do you all feel about that? And then issue 6 will appear but doesn't count. I don't understand. That's another thing that's kind of weird. How can something appear but not count? How can it be voted on but not mean anything? Shoot. Yeah. All right. So we're going to move into Colorado. They have the Amendment C, which requires charitable organizations to have existed for 3 years before obtaining a charitable gaming license, instead of 5 years, which allows charitable organizations to hire managers and operators of gaming activities, so long as they aren't paid above minimum wage. So I'm not 1,000% on the gaming type that they're talking about. I'm pretty sure it's not gambling. I hope it's not. I'm not sure. So this is another one, Colorado. What? I looked at it. I didn't necessarily understand it all the way, but nonetheless, I really feel that it's always important, just being someone who's trying to open up her own nonprofit, to have a reputable team, managers and operators, to make sure that everything goes smoothly, because we can't do everything by ourselves. And that's just anybody in general, you know, just to have a team. So to be able to have, to be able to do that in 3 years instead of 5, that's what I'm thinking it is. Yeah, sounds good to me. Amendment 76. Every and any vote at age of 18. So this is one of the ones I was talking about earlier. That's kind of, repeated throughout the whole, thing for a couple of states. Still don't know what it means, but figure that out, Colorado. Don't let them mess you up. Proposition EE increases taxes on tobacco, creates new tax on nicotine, and products such as e-cigarettes, and delegates funds to education and health programs. So here's another one. I don't know. Is the money really going to go to the educational programs? Is it really going to go to the schools? I'm not sure. It sounds like some weirdness. But yeah, man, it's already really expensive to smoke out here as it is. I'm not a smoker myself, but I have heard a lot of the people, just really upset about how much the cigs are right now. So if that's something that you're not with, this is something that you might want to get involved with. Proposition 114 reintroduces gray wolves on public lands. I don't know about that. If you want to get, smacked up by a wolf one day, or if, you're cool enough to just get in your car and just drive off, if you can. But wolves. They want wolves in the street. And Proposition 116 decreases the state tax rate. So I guess they're at 4.63, they want to put it down to 4.55. That's always nice. Prop 118 establishes a program for paid medical and family leave. Man, they got some cool ones going on. I don't know about that wolf, but we're gonna move into Florida, and we're almost there. I got a few more. This is gonna be a little bit longer, just so I can incorporate all of the states that I can. Florida, they have Amendment 1. This is 18-year-old or vote type of thing that they want to change as far as how it's written. Amendment 2 increases minimum wage to $15 by 2026. So we're not looking, looking at a raise of $15 until 2026. I think we're at 11 here in California. Amendment 3 establishes a two-top open primary system for state office primary elections. So this is another one of those bad boys that kind of like, sifts out what's going on. We got to look at who's up there and what they're doing. All right, 4 is Amendment 6. It allows a homestead property tax discount to be transferred to a surviving spouse of a deceased veteran. That's pretty cool because I feel that a lot. Like I think I said it before, is that our elders, the people who have served in our country, they're really not taken care of the way that they're supposed to be. So yeah, any type of discounts, any type of resources that we can lend out to our vets is the way to go. All right, I think that's done for them. Let's move on to Georgia. So Georgia has an Amendment 1. Georgia, y'all like Alabama. Amendment 1 authorizes legislature to dedicate tax or fee revenue to the public purpose for which the taxes and fees were imposed. Yeah. See, I don't even know what I read, but I know I wrote that down right, and that's one of those Shakespearean amendments. Gotta figure that out. Amendment 2 allows residents to seek declaratory relief from state or local laws that violate the state constitution or state laws. The fact that you even have to do this, there needs to be reform for you guys just as well, Georgia. You gotta seek declaratory. I allow you to seek relief in me beating you up because I have the right by constitutional law. All right, 3, referendum A. That's a word. Exempts from property taxes property owned by a 501c. Oh, property taxes for those who own a 501c3 public charity. Well, I just messed that all the way up. Whoa. Let's try it again. All right, so exempts property taxes for those properties owned by a 501c3 public charity if the property is exclusively for the purposes of building or repairing single-family homes and financing to those individuals who are purchasing a home. So this one sounds like a really cool one. Again, I'm always into nonprofits, any type of charitable organization that's out here trying to make a difference or a change for us, for a better life, is always a go. It's a go. All right, 8. We're going to move on into Illinois. Illinois doesn't have a lot going on, but they have an amendment allowance, which allows for a graduated income tax. So again, if someone who lives in Illinois or has property or goes to Illinois a lot or is voting there in Illinois, lives somewhere else, pay attention to this one. They're about to tax y'all. All right, moving into 9, Iowa. Voters determine whether to hold constitutional conversation. Could come in handy in my ideal. I guess this is something that has to come up. Again, it says the voters determine whether to hold constitutional convention. My bad. I think I said conversation, but convention. So this is, I want to say on 2 places for here. I want to say Puerto Rico, but these guys have, I guess, some more things, contingencies that are not be suiting for us. I think this is the opportunity to change that. If they wanted to hold a constitutional convention, you don't want to give that away. You know, you want to be able to have that right, in my opinion. I don't know. What you think? Kentucky. They have the constitutional amendment already, and they're trying to add Marcy's Law to it. So I guess Marcy's Law is also another thing that helps with lowering the accounts of prejudice in dealing with people. Yeah, you don't want to be caught in Kentucky and put into jail there. And yeah, so yeah, I'm gonna just leave that there. Kentucky, Georgia, Alabama, get it together. Louisiana. Louisiana. All right, Amendment 1. They have something on here talking about that there is no right to an abortion or funding in that state as by the Constitution. So people are not allowed to get abortions out here in Louisiana. So this is another toss-up type of topic. A lot of people might feel different about it, and I understand. Women and men have always butt heads about it, families. Me personally, I feel that there's always a different scenario that we don't see in someone bringing a child into this earth, and it's an extremely important thing to take serious. So, you know, it's important to take it serious as well when you're engaging in the act of creating a child, you know, to use the protection or the protective measures, to not find yourself in a clinic like this. But nonetheless, I feel that having health care in this area and having an option to take care of your body is always an amazing, awesome thing. So, there we go, Louisiana. Amendment 2, they got a tax on oil. We already talked about that for Alaska. Okay. All right. Amendment 3. Through a 2 1/3 vote in each chamber, to use up to 1/3 revenue in the budget stabilization fund to cover the state's costs associated with a federally declared disaster. So for this one right here, I want to say it's because we're in Louisiana. Yeah, all of the floods. There's so many natural disasters that are going on, and I pray that everyone is okay. That's not even something to take lightly. This is crazy. So many people have been impacted by these things, and we haven't been ready as a country to make sure that the funds were there to get, you know, emergency supplies, to get people into homes, to, you know, to even reconstruct the cities. That's huge. So right now, whatever we can do, I feel, in order to take care of our cities, our state, and our country, you know. You guys tell me, how do you feel in Louisiana, you know? Another thing is Amendment 4. It changes state expenditures limit growth formula. Yeah, that's another one. I'm going to just leave to Louisiana because I don't even know what that means. But y'all can let me know. I'm sorry. I'm a horrible host. You guys are going to tear into me. Remember, this is my second time. I'm trying, okay? So this time next year, I'm going to be full-fledged on with the information to inform. Right now, we're just doing this together. Okay? All right. So 12. 12 is Maine. So, they got a quest? Or is it question? I think it's a question or quest one. It's for $15 million for high-speed internet infrastructure to be installed there in Maine. So that's huge. All of us have been talking during this COVID time about, you know, slow bandwidth and, you know, being able to get online and being able to conduct our classes or whatever projects just like this right now. I'm appreciative of fast internet. So, hey, Maine, make it happen. Quest 2, 105 million. Bond transportations? 105 million bonds, or $105 million worth of bonds for transportation infrastructures in Maine. A lot to say as well, but also a very cool initiative. You always want to have awesome transportation. I haven't been to Maine, but I do know that, like, my favorite place to travel as far as on the public transport, it would have to be Chicago. I love, like, love the, just even the buses, everything about Chicago is awesome. So, hey. Out here, LA is pretty cool too, because things are underground. So yeah, you always want to make sure that you have, up-to-date transportation infrastructures. All right, so Maine doesn't really have too much going on. They just have some cool stuff coming up. Michigan, on the other hand, we're going to move into them. They got one proposal called Proposal 2, which requires a search warrant to access a person's electronic data. So I think I talked about this one as well in one of the propositions for us in California. This one is kind of similar in that, you definitely want permissions before your stuff is sold off to another company. You should have the luxury of being, sane without having people calling your phone that you don't even know and, just soliciting your time. So this is a pretty good one for Michigan. So now we get to move into Mississippi. To the SIP. Alright, so these guys, they got one of my favorites on their ballot again. Ballot measure 1, you already know Cali making it, legalizes medical marijuana for the qualified persons with debilitating medical conditions. So this one right here is just a little bit different in the fact that it says debilitating medical conditions. So this right here is specifically talking about medical marijuana. So in like I said, my personal opinion, everyone has, their right, I feel, and well, they don't have their right with this, but now you can. So if you want that right to have a different option of holistic health or something that's different than the pills, who knows what the side effects of these things have been causing to the body. There's so many different methods that you can take cannabis. There's, edibles, there are drinks, there's all sorts of things that, you could put on lotions, ointments. It's a fair share. So if you want to do something different for your body that's a little less harmful, hey, try it out. All right, so Mississippi, what else you got going on? Two. This one is also a ballot measure for the electoral vote qualification. Because it is racially discriminatory and has violated the U.S. Constitution and Voting Rights Act. So, of course, Mississippi is right up there with Georgia and Alabama and Arkansas. Or was it Arkansas? I'm sorry, Arkansas, if I just called y'all for nothing. I was on the fence about y'all. But we all got to get it together. Okay? All right, Mississippi. All right, so y'all, come on now. For this one, I kind of feel like this is a no-brainer. Yeah, it's not a good thing. So we need to go on ahead and get in there and vote that bad boy out. Ballot measure 3, approval or rejection of a new state flag. So this one right here, to be designed, which doesn't include the Confederate battle flag and must have "In God We Trust." This is another one. This one kind of like struck me to the core. It's like, wow. I didn't even realize that the flag still had the Confederate flag in there. That's ridiculous. So, yeah, like I said, anyone out there who's being crazy on the names of this mess, y'all, you gonna get it back. Just understand that. It ain't gotta come for us. It ain't gotta come from anybody in general. You reap what you sow. Stop being kids. Grow up. This gotta go. Alright, so moving into 15, Montana. Alright, so Montana, what y'all got going on? We got LR legislative something. Montana just gave us a whole bunch of crazy stuff. LR 130. So Montana, you guys are trying to remove local government's authority to regulate firearms, including regulation of the conceal and carry weapon. So this one is kind of like the stand your ground, in my opinion, too. Like I said, as long as people are being respectful and people are being responsible with their power, then, hey, now, you got to take care of it. C-46 changes language to match current indated statutes and referendums as far as the distribution requirements in Montana. don't know what requirements you guys are talking about. I probably just didn't write it down. I'm sorry. But yeah, that's something that's on there. C1-118 authorizes the legislature or a citizen initiative to set a legal age for marijuana purchase, use, and possession. So this one right here too. Okay, so Montana got something going on about cannabis as well. Guys, take a look at this. I know this has been something that's huge across our nation, man. People have been trying to get this stuff legalized for a very long time, so I don't have any problems in speaking up about it for myself. But if this is something that is of interest to you, make sure you get involved. And if you want it to be further along in your, your current state, this is how you do it, by voting. And making sure you join those different groups to try to get it on the ballot. So, all right. So, for Montana legalizes. So, this is the second one. So, so it's on here twice. So, we have C1-118 and then we have 1-190, which legalizes the possession and use of marijuana for adults over the age of 21. But it comes, with an imposing 20% tax on sales, requiring the Department of Revenue to develop rules to regulate marijuana businesses and allowing for the resentencing of expungement of marijuana-rated crimes, as long as you do it. As long as you do it. If that money is really going towards those programs, that's my question. Is it really going towards these programs? Are they really going to expunge some of these crimes? Make sure. When we're voting on these things, that's my next question. And that's what I'm about to do more research on, is who is responsible, for making sure that these are carried out after we vote. All right, so 16, Nebraska. You guys, you guys are just... Nebraska. Amendment 1 repeals language allowing slavery or involuntary servitude as criminal punishment. So you guys are the furthest behind, which is not, I guess it isn't Nebraska. It's not surprising. Y'all, get it together. Get it together, get it together, get it together. It doesn't matter if you're black, orange, purple, blue. I don't care what color you are. That ain't cool. That ain't cool. All right, Nevada, 17. I'm sorry. I just get so, it's so irritating. We're in 2020, and the fact that I'm looking at this right now is so weird. Like, why is this even a thing? All right, so 17, Nevada removes the constitutional statutes of the Board of Regents. Nevada. I don't know. I don't know who the Board of Regents are. Removes the constitutional statutes? I don't know. What are they doing out there in Nevada? Question 2. Recognizes the marriage of couples regardless of gender. Duh, we already fought for that. Come on now. Question 4. Creates a constitutional right to certain voting procedures and policies. What are these policies? So Nevada just throwing up some weird stuff too. What is this? Question 6 requires utilities to acquire 50% of their electricity from renewable resources by 2030. Sounds like a scam to me. So everybody's got to switch over to that green light stuff if you can't afford that. But I think they're actually making state programs to where they're doing it automatically. So, to have a backup is always nice, especially during natural disasters. Not having so many landlines and electrical lines involved. Will that reduce that? I don't know. But yeah, if you guys want to switch over to the green state, Nevada, that's what's on yours. All right, going into New Jersey. Public question 1 legalizes the possession and use of marijuana. Okay, so another state who's trying to get marijuana on the ballot. Y'all already know what to do. This is New Jersey, so you guys are going to be real East Coast. Yo, do it up for y'all coast, man, for real. Because when we come over there, and when people are visiting New Jersey, New Jersey is already lit, so come on. New Mexico. Boom. All right, board question C issues $156.3 million in bonds for public higher education institutions, special public schools, and tribal schools. This one was really cool, and I feel that this is something that needs to be everywhere. So take note of this one, because this would be awesome to get just nationwide on every single ballot. $156.3 million. That's what we need for our public schools, our public tribal schools, or, well, those aren't public, our tribal schools, those are private. But and then the educational institutions. So those are good things. All right, so Oklahoma is next. They have a state question, 814. It decreases payments made to the tobacco settlement from 75% to 25%. So while everyone else is trying to hike up the prices on tobacco, Oklahoma is not with it. They are trying to put it down. And Oklahoma only has that I had in question, which is awesome. So Oklahoma, good job. Oregon. What is going on in Oregon? Let's see. They have Measure 107, which campaigns finance and elections and campaigns. What? Oh, campaign finance and elections requires the political advertisements to identify the people or entities that paid for them. That's some marketing stuff. Sure. I mean, if it helps to make sure that person is, the people who are supposed to be getting payment or whatever needs to be carried out, if this helps that, then by all means. Measure 108 increases cigarette tax from to $1.33 per pack. Whoa! To $3.33. So, Oregon is on some craziness. They trying to tax y'all $3.33 on your cigarettes, okay? So, like I said, I don't even know how much it is out here in California, but I heard like a ridiculous price the other day. I was like, what the hey? That's crazy. But Measure 110, what is this? Decriminalizes the possession of certain drugs and establishes a drug addiction treatment and recovery program funded by the state's marijuana tax revenue. So this one right here, I guess, isn't even really just for one specific type of drug, but for any type of drugs. So, yeah, it decriminalize the possession. Think about it. All right, so 22, Rhode Island. We're almost done, guys. Thank you so much for viewing this, and I'm gonna put the timing on here for each state, so you can just push to it if you need to. But for Rhode Island, that is my 22nd state that I covered. They have a question on their question 1, which amends the Constitution to remove Providence Plantations from the official state name. Providence Plantations is in their state name. Another place, Rhode Island. You and your little friendly states over there losing your minds. Probably never, found them in the first place. Y'all better find some. South Dakota. Alright, Measure 26 establishes a medical marijuana program in South Dakota for individuals with a debilitating medical condition. So this one right here is another one that's kind of specific as to the uses of the medicinal marijuana, which is really a good thing. You don't want to abuse any substance whatsoever. But if you are someone who is into holistic care and health, this is for you, baby. South Dakota, okay? So South Dakota, another state. They also have the Constitutional Amendment A, which legalizes the now it comes right after. Legalizes the recreational use of marijuana. So this requires the legislature to pass laws providing for the use of medical marijuana and the sale of hemp by 4/1/2021. So look at that. We're looking at the laws for marijuana in one state way before we're even looking at, the vernacular being changed on constitutional rights. Man, priorities. But nonetheless, I'm still, definitely with the goodness. All right, so we have Utah now. They have a constitutional amendment A, which makes language gender neutral in the state constitution. So that's a nice thing. People should already have equal rights as far as what's going on, but nonetheless, is what we've already established. They have put some crazy dumb stuff in writing and have accepted it. nationwide. We got to get rid of that. Get rid of it. It ain't right. Shouldn't have never been there. All right, Constitutional Amendment A. That's that. So you guys fix that up. All right, the other one repeals the constitutional expectation on the ban of slavery and involuntary servitude as punishment for a crime. So you guys are another one. I want to say that was Maine that was doing that craziness. Yo, Utah. I wouldn't even think about it in Utah. All right, Washington. And this is the 25th state. They have a referendum 90, which repeals the Senate bill that was already passed regarding sexual health education in schools. So this was something that was really big that I remember kind of coming into, I want to say 2018, when everyone was kind of like up in a roar about sexual education in school and how it is that they were going about it with different genders and how relations are supposed to be conducted. So if you have a problem with these things, I really, like I said, if you don't try to get in there to see what's going on, you'll never know. I would do my research, very much so. If you have a child that's, in school, and you are concerned with how they get their information presented to them, then this is the time to go up in there and make some changes. All right, so let me see. We got 3 more states left, and then I'm going to let this go and move on to the next lovely portion of my day. But Washington, we just did Washington, my bad. 26. We in Puerto Rico now. All right, so Puerto Rico, 26, this is the 26th state that I'm covering, supports the position that Puerto Rico should seek statehood. Now, this is huge. Puerto Rico, yo, you guys should definitely be a state. I don't understand why it's not. If it's our territory, they should definitely have the same voting opportunities that we have as citizens here. That's just plain and simple. Any territory of the U.S., I'm so down. And that's something that we definitely got to look at and trying to get on our ballots. It's like we need to help out the territories because then they can help us out. All of us were supposed to be working together, and I don't think USA gets that. So once we start working together, then we'll start seeing lucrative opportunities for a whole, and we'll start seeing the health of our land as a whole. So Puerto Rico is another territory that's been getting torn up out of hurricanes, just like Louisiana. And my heart is out to you and your families. So during this time, I pray that you guys are safe and that everyone can get out and try to make a change and a difference for your communities, because this is the time to do it. The U.S. Virgin Islands, the last one that I covered, which is number 27. These guys also having the right to hold a constitutional convention. I know it doesn't seem like a big deal now, but that is something that I feel like you do not want to give away. And I pray that I'm reading it right. So those people who are in the Virgin Islands, let me know how you feel about this and how it's supposed to impact the people. But I want to give up my right. Even if you can't right now, you never know. This impacts you, I want to say, for the next 4 years. But, it said that it came up every 6 years, I want to say, automatically, to be able to dispute the, being able to hold a constitutional convention. So, yeah, man. I've gotten through the whole list with you guys. I went through all of the ones that I felt were kind of like compelling to talk about, or questionable, or just like bizarre to me. So, the ones that you are having trouble understanding, say something so we can all start to figure out what's going on. I don't want to hear any, you're dumb, you're this, you're that, you're that. No, stay off my page. Stay away from me. Stay away from the people who support me. We're here to learn. We're here to work. We're here to evolve. We're here to grow together. All right? So, hopefully, like I said, this information was so helpful, because it was for me just to get it out, just to talk about it, just to hear it. For me, it's like, dang, this is what's going on in my nation. Hopefully this is something that you can discuss with your peers, with the people that you love. This will be a good, just a conversation starter to see. It's like, hey, this is what they're doing in Nevada or Utah or Nebraska. Oh, God, Nebraska. But yeah, man, get out, do your thing, vote. Okay? It all comes down to voting and understanding the process. I pray that all of you, again, does your own research, you figure out the things that mean something to you, and this 2021 election, we can get some new prosperous things as far as the propositions on our ballots. All right, guys, if there are any questions, comments, concerns, please leave them there at the bottom. Like I said, I'm not, this isn't my thing all the way as far as politics are concerned. I'm just kind of navigating it for myself. So if you have anything as far as corrections are concerned, let me know so I can address that and I can learn as well, okay? All right, guys, it was nice seeing you. It's going to be Thursday. So Thursday, I will be back with the presidential debates. We're going to be talking about what happened with the presidential debates. And then we're going to be talking about these pinpoint questions that I have in making a change for our U.S. elections. All right? Okay. All right, guys. I'll see you guys later. Again, this was the Apprentice Chair. I am your Sister Spade. Until next time.